Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is having a good week. Tonight, I aim to hopefully lead us in this discussion and glean some spiritual wisdom from the book of James and make application to our own lives, starting in the book of James, chapter 1, if you have a Bible and want to turn there. In the passage that we're going to read, I would submit to you that James, the author of this book, is offering a sort of delicate paradigm shift in the way that the Christian views the world. Something that, in my opinion, is antithetical to modern philosophy, or maybe just worldly thinking in general. Doesn't have to be modern. And in so doing, in my opinion, he sort of offers a cheat code to life. If you've ever played a video game, you know that one of the fun things to do is when you beat that game is to go back and plug in some cheat codes. And maybe these cheat codes give you infinite life or infinite resources or something, and you can play this game sort of impervious to whatever enemy would come your way. And so with that in mind, if the devil is prowling like a roaring lion seeking to devour you and to conquer your soul, spiritual wisdom is that cheat code to make you impervious to his attack and to equip you with what you need to withstand it. I'm going to be reading verses 2 through 4 of James chapter 1. James says, "Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let endurance have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." In this passage, James offers a powerful perspective on how to approach trials and tribulations in our lives. He encourages us to view challenges not as obstacles to overcome, but as opportunities for growth and spiritual development. And how does he say we should do that? How should we go about facing these trials that's so profound? Well, in verse 2 he says, "Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials." What? Consider it joy when you encounter trials? Is this not very counterintuitive to the way you would think you would react to trials? The way the world reacts to trials? Trials bring pain, discomfort, uncertainty, anxiety, and stress. And James challenges us to shift our perspective, change the direction of the prism through which you see reality in the world, such that you see trials as opportunities for spiritual refinement. And why? Because trials, in verse 3, serve as a testing ground of our faith. Just as gold is refined through fire, our faith is strengthened and purified through the trials we face. And it is during these times that our true character is revealed and our faith is put to the test. This is a lecture or lesson that I had to give to my son this week. I told him, it's not enough that you're happy and joyful and doing well when everything in your life is going perfectly. A true test of your character is when you're not getting something you want or something isn't going your way and you still maintain that good spirit of kindness and happiness and joy. We're tested in our trials, and James says to consider it joy. And so as we endure trials with faith and perseverance, we develop endurance and resilience. And James tells Christians to allow this perseverance to finish its work in your life, leading to what? Spiritual maturity and completeness. And so I'm going to offer you a few things you can do to actually apply this scripture to your life. First, rather than seeking to escape trials, embrace them as opportunities for growth. Okay? Already you're doing something that the world does not do. Embrace your trials as opportunities for growth. Lean into them rather than resisting them. Accept them for what they are because they're going to come to all of us. Number 2, consider offering heartfelt prayer of thanksgiving for all the stresses in your life. Consider offering heartfelt prayer to God of thanksgiving for the stresses in your life. Now, it's not lost on me what I just did there. I'm talking about trials and tribulations, and then I just changed that out and called it stresses. And I don't mean to cheapen the context of this verse. We know what the first century Christians were facing. You can read Hebrews 11 and discover that. It says people were sawn in two. They were facing certain death and true persecution. But I also think we dilute this verse and passage if we think it only means being sawn in two or facing certain death. Okay? Life is full of all sorts of trials and tribulations. So, offer thanksgiving for the trials that come with being a father or a mother, a husband or a wife, an employee, worker, a leader in the church or in your community or at home, or being a servant in your community or church or at home. All of these things comes with trials. If you're a parent, is it not a trial when you have a sick child? Is it not a trial when your spouse is suffering in their health? Is it not a trial when your spouse is suffering in their faith, perhaps? Is it not a trial to work for the bread you put on the table, to pay bills? So these are stresses and they are trials, and they lead to trials and tribulations, true tribulations. And once you conquer these things, you'll be better equipped to conquer sickness and weaknesses and betrayal and persecution and other things that come from the world in the broader scope. And so, actually say a prayer. Think of it. If you're a father, mother, husband, wife, worker, leader, or servant, God put you in that position for a purpose. It's kind of awesome. So say a prayer and say, thank you for making me a father. Thank you for making me a wife. Thank you for making me a husband. Thank you for making me a mother, a worker, a leader, a servant. And then pivot in that prayer to what it says in verse 5. It says, but if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all generously and without reproach, and it will be given to him. And so then in your prayer say, thank you for making me a father, a mother, a wife, a husband, a worker. Please give me the strength to be the best I can be in this role. Please give me the strength to be a leader, to be an example, to be a light in this role, to endure whatever trial I'm going to, and to be a positive force in this trial, and to grow in my faith. And so, what is the outcome? When we do this, when we endure, we become more steadfast in our faith, we become more resilient in the face of adversity, and we become more complete as God's children. And so trials become stepping stones on a path to becoming more like Christ. And that's what's so profound about James' lesson. And that's why you can consider it joy, which the world will not understand when you face these trials. If you're facing trials, if you need our prayer, if you need our support, please come forward together as we stand and sing.